Imagine having £500 to fix your golf game for good. If you could invest £500 on equipment, lessons, tech, practice, whatever it would be to fix your game, how would you do it? Well, in today's lesson, we're going to hear from myself, my opinion on it. We're going to hear from Seb on golf. We're going to hear from Danny Maude, and we're going to hear from Simon, SAS Golf, on how we would spend £500 to make sure we're making the best of our golf game and the best expenditure of that money. So let's get stuck into this lesson right now. Guys, if this is one of your first lessons, do remember to hit the subscribe button down below, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos whilst we're in lockdown, to keep you only entertained but help you also improve your game. One of the things that I noticed before, and what I've noticed probably over the past 3-4 years when I've been coaching full time, is a lot of people try and buy their way out of trouble when it comes to their golf games. And the lesson side of things is almost a last resort. They come, well, I've got this new driver and I want you to tell me how to hit it. What did you have before? Well, I've got this new tailor-made M6. I had the M1 before. There's not that much difference in the clubs, mate. There's not a dramatic amount that all of a sudden you whacking out 550 quid, 500 quid on a new driver. It's not like fairy dust. When you sprinkle it on, it's magically going to sort your golf game. Yes, there is a time for new golf clubs and a time for getting them fit to you. But what I want people to stop doing is actually trying to buy their way out of trouble with a new golf club. It's not going to fix that slice that you've got, because if you deliver the face open with an M1 versus an M5, M6 or a Mizuno, Callaway, whatever it may be, still going to slice it. So let's find out from me firstly a little bit how we're going to fix our games, how we're going to spend this money, sorry, and then we're going to hear from the other guys. So like I said, a lot of people come to me sometimes as the last resort. Almost having a lesson is like, oh no, I don't need lessons. I hear they're bad for your game. I hear that they're not great. Now, if we looked at the £500, I'm not saying that you need to go and spend all £500 on golf lessons. It might be, for instance, that you come and have an assessment lesson at Trafford Golf Centre. We offer an assessment lesson that's £40. It's a cheaper rate than the normal hourly rate. And what it's there to do is basically assess your game. Tell you why you hit those shots that you hit, why you maybe hit that fat hook, why you always slice your driver, why you're always duffing your chips or whatever it may be. And just as a partnership, we sit down and say, what do you want to get from your game? Well, you're 18 handicap at the minute, or you want to break 100. Well, I think you need to improve on these areas. And also it might be me saying, a lot of the times people who are coming in, they've had hand-me-down clubs from, grandparents or parents, or my mate's mate gave me this set because we're going on a golf holiday from work. And they've come from the back of the garage and they've been there since 1970. So it might be that we advise you on getting new technology as well. And we have a look whether the clubs fit you. So for me, firstly, the first step I would take would be to get some form of an assessment lesson or a lesson with a PGA professional. Now, if we were categorizing the £500, what I've noted down on here on my notes for this sort of little task that I've done would be, I've said that £200 out of the 500 will probably be best spent on lessons. Like I say, it might be that you have a one-off lesson. It might be from that one-off lesson though that you say, well, I've got a slice, just buying a driver isn't going to fix it. It might be your grip, it might be your backswing, it might be something that we just need to work on, a bit of your fundamentals. It's probably going to take about 3 lessons, a bit of practice time for you to get used to it, and then you should be able to get a hold of that slice. You should start to see that you're not doing it as much. From there then, what I would say, one thing that I never hear people say, well, I invest in my practice time. Yeah, well, how much money do you spend on that? For me, when I was sort of a budding amateur and really trying to shoot my handicap down, one of my biggest expenditures, as it were golf balls, because I was trying to fill my practice bag with good quality golf balls all the time. So for me, I'd probably take 50 quid, buy a practice bag, buy, some 36 or whatever, 50 lake or second use Pro V1s, stick them in the bag, cost you 50 quid. You've then got like almost your own range. If your club's got a practice ground that you can go to, even if it's only hitting 7 irons, you spent that one-off 50 quid on your practice bag and your Pro Vs or whatever balls it might be. You know, it might be a ruck load of Strixon balls or whatever it might be. And maybe some alignment canes, $9.99 for alignment canes. It might be, you know, a training aid. It might be a swing guide or something that you put on your wrist. It might be something that is going to help you actually monitor your golf swing, because once you've been for that lesson or your course of lessons, you know what's wrong with your golf swing now. You now know what you need to do with your golf swing. So if you can monitor it through practice and time with, you know, these training aids and your golf balls, and you actually just spending a little bit of time, because we can't buy time, that's, you know, our free time that we would choose to invest in it, then we should be on the right track to fixing our golf game a little bit. And third and finally for me, what I would probably do as the sort of the last resort, once I've invested in myself, would be to actually say, right, okay, golf clubs, let's go and get a custom fitting first with my current set. If you've got a half decent set of golf clubs, go in for a custom fitting with a, you know, a professional fitter or a pro. Again, we've got someone like Nick Hibbs at TRAFFORD Golf, who is a fantastic fitter, been out on the tour for years and now set up his own place. He's got all the knowledge in the world and he's not tied down to a specific brand, so he's not going to try and flog us something. I could go in and say, Nick, this is my set, let's hit them all, let's see what's working, let's see what's not working, and let's see what's missing, more importantly as well, because it might be that you've got some clubs, they might just need altering in terms of loft and lie, the weights might need moving on your driver, but you might have a really big gap from 3 wood to your next iron. It might be that you've got 3 wood, then 5 iron. So where's the hybrid? Where's the, you know, the 7 wood, whatever it may be? And that session could cost you maybe 30, 40, 50 pounds. So all of a sudden we're airing on that £300 mark. And then he says, well, you need a hybrid, or your wedges are totally out with the way golf clubs are now built. We've got a pitching wedge at 44, then your next wedge is 56. You've got a massive gap there. You need a 52 and a 58 to fall more in line. That could be that you spend that last £200 on those. So that would be the way I'm structuring. Let's head over to the lads now. Firstly, we're going to hop over to Seb on Golf and see what he thinks he would spend the money on.
£500 to spend and a month to work on my golf game. Where would I spend that money? Right, well, for me, it's got to be spread across a lot of different areas. Right now, especially after some time out of golf, can't get on the courses right now, the thing for me that probably will go first is my short game. I've not really got that good a long game. My short game really bails me out an awful lot. So I'd want to get that sharp. So for me, I'm gonna probably mix that across, definitely having some lessons. Definitely having some lessons. I think if you can get in 3 or 4 regular lessons with a nice 4 or 5 days in between them to give you an actual chance to work on whatever it is your coach has been getting you to do, I think that's invaluable. So definitely segment out across the month, 3, maybe 4 lessons, maybe 1 a week. And then a bit of product. So for example, short game, I get myself 2 or 3 really nice new fresh sharp grooved wedges, good nice couple of boxes of balls, and then really allow myself the time to go and work on whatever it is I've been working on with the coach. And sometimes time is an expensive commodity, so it might be something you need to invest a little bit to get you that time. Maybe childcare, for example. Certainly in my case, with another baby on the way. So yeah, a little bit of product. It's always good. I think if you got a nice new shiny piece of product, you're more likely to want to get out and practice, aren't you? We all love that feeling, getting the plastic off a new golf club. Definitely lessons. Obviously, you can't really improve too much about lessons. Obviously, there's a lot you can find online now, so getting yourself ready for some drills. Maybe use those in your time away from your coach to mix things up a little bit. But I think also potentially one of the biggest areas that a lot of amateurs can really, really improve drastically, and if you're talking about getting the best return on investment for time or money spent to lower your handicap or improve your golf game, it's probably going to be for the mental side of the game, the course management elements of it. It certainly was a massive leap forward for me when I was a high handicapper coming down, was that moment where it sort of clicked in for me when I really started thinking about the game in a different way, how to score, how to get your way around a golf course. So possibly some technology. Maybe you could look at a GPS watch or a rangefinder that can help give you that information to allow you to be a better course manager. Or maybe a book, maybe some books. I mean, one book I highly recommend, I've read a few of his now, Bob Rotea, Putting Out of Your Mind. Again, it was all about mindset, specifically with short game, and in that particular one, putting, really, really helped me. So I would dive deep into the short game, but I would spend the money across a few different assets. So time, and that, you know, you need to find the time. So that could be various things, but in golf, it would be a bit of products, some lessons, and then some auxiliary stuff. So either a gadget and possibly a little book to feed the mind as well as the golf bag. Anyway, yeah, that'd be a lovely thing to have, wouldn't it? 500 quid every month to spend on golf. Yes, please.
Okay, so pretty similar thoughts to what I was going down there. Lessons, time and almost equipment for practicing, and then some actual equipment slash tech, as it were. So pretty similar thoughts and pretty in line to where I was going with what I'd be spending the money on. Let's hop over to Danny Maude now and see what he would spend that money on as well.
So Matt's asked me to speak to you and come up with some ideas of what would you do if you had 500 quid? What would I personally spend it on? Well, I'm going to come at it from your perspective. Look, there's three things that you need in golf. Clearly, if you're going to spend the money, you're going to need to, you want to clear it better, so you want to improve your swing. You're going to probably need to look at your equipment, and you need to look at the mental side of the game. These are the three major factors that come into you getting better at the game. So the very first thing I spend my money on is I would go and see a PGA qualified professional and just simply go and get a custom fitting. You don't need to buy a set of golf clubs, just get the specifications, make sure that you're using the style of club that actually suits your game. The amount of times that golfers came to me and they couldn't play because they were using the wrong style of irons. Almost, I mean, as an extreme, a very thin bladed iron when they're kind of a mid to high handicap golfer. That was making it really, really difficult. So find the style of irons that are going to suit you by going to get a custom fitting from a pro. The great thing about it with eBay now and the fact that these manufacturers are bringing out so many different products on a regular basis, you can pick up some great secondhand stuff super, super cheap. So that's how I would start. Once you've done that, the next thing I'd do is go and get some lessons. You know, the great thing about YouTube now, you can get to kind of sift out the style of coach that you like. So get onto YouTube, have a look through some of the videos. So yes, you might have to travel a little bit, you know, but what you can do initially is, look, you've got Matt here who, you know, is a great coach. You know, does he do online lessons? I'm sure he does. Go if you enjoy his coaching, go and book an online lesson with Matt. Test him out, see what you think, and then if you want to go the next stage, then maybe look at them, you know, buying some, you know, a couple of lessons with him. That's how I would start. So you've sorted out your equipment, you know, so you're looking at getting some lessons. And the next thing I did, you know what? The third and final thing, you need to sort out this thing here. To play really, really good golf, you need to kind of, you know, cope with, you need to be confident, you need to play on a golf course under a bit of pressure. So look, as we get to a certain age, sometimes we're not very good at that. So we need to be taught how to do that. You can go to a PGA professional to do that, but you know what I would start with? I'd invest in just a few books. Here's a few suggestions I would look at. I would look at The Inner Game of Golf by Timothy Galway, fantastic book to start with. In fact, no, I would go start with Extraordinary Golf by Fred Shoemaker, wonderful book to start with. Then move on to Timothy Galway, The Inner Game of Golf. And then what I'd do is, if you're getting really into this, slightly more in depth, but I would look at aspects such as NLP, and I would also look at a book by Anders Ericsson called Peak. Really, really great reads, perfect for this time when we're all in isolation. So that's what I would do. I would focus on the main three things that you're going to need to do to improve your game. You're going to look at the equipment. Look, buying a better game is not going to, buying a better game by buying equipment is not necessarily going to improve your game, but what definitely will do is to make sure that you're using the right style of equipment to suit your game. So custom fitting, invest in that first. Again, remember, you don't have to buy the clubs, but you can get an idea of the style of clubs that suit you, and then you can go and buy them secondhand if you need to. That's the first thing. Second thing, clearly go and get someone to look at your game, set you off in the right direction. It is such an amazing thing to do. So do that. Speak to Matt, someone who's close to you. Check them out on YouTube. Vet them out on YouTube. have an online lesson as an introductory start, then maybe go and see them in person, and then third and finally, get yourself this sorted out, help improve, come up with some strategies and tools to become more confident on the golf course, and so you can learn a lot faster. I hope this really helps, and that's my 3 major things that I would do if I had 500 quid and I was going to spend it today.
Seems to be a common theme coming out here: lessons, time, then tech, not just buying a club straight away to try and get yourself out of the hole. Feel a bit like Gordon Ramsay at the moment doing this pucker, nice chicken breast. But like I say, pretty standard stuff there. Lesson, self, tech. Right, we're going to head over third and finally to Simon SAS Golf, who is the master, by the way, at buying second-hand golf clubs, so you don't always need to buy new golf clubs. I think that might be something that features in his slot without even seeing his video yet. Let's head over to him and see what he thinks he would spend the money on.
Matt, how are you doing? Hope you're well, mate, and staying safe. Thank you ever so much for having your video and asking me the question, if I had £500 to spend, what would I spend it on to most improve your game or my game? I'm going to go, or take this question turns the interpretation of someone that's very brand new to the game, i.e. watch golf for the first time, wants to start learning how to get into it and how to quickly improve. Now, if you're watched my channel before, you'll know that I'm a big advocate for second-hand clubs and also cheap clubs anyway. So if you're starting the game, don't go out and spend, so if you had £500, don't go and spend 400 of your pounds on clubs, because you're going to get a lot more out of lessons, you're going to get a lot more out of practicing throughout the course of the year to help improve your game, rather than the equipment side right at the start. So my overall budget, I would say, on buying a brand new set of clubs, and obviously I didn't do this when I started the game, I did what everyone else does and spends tons of money on clubs, but I'd spend maximum £50 on a set of golf clubs, i.e. I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace, I'm looking on eBay, I'm nicking my granddad's set, whatever it might be, but £50 is the absolute limit in terms of irons, putter and a driver. I don't need rescues or woods or loads of wedges. I just basically need a 7-iron, a wood, and also a putter, and any other clubs I can get in the bag, the better. Now, obviously, that leaves me £450, rest of my budget, to obviously improve, and a good course of that is going to be on lessons. Now, to start off with, getting to golf programs, golf group coaching is a great way to just get general basics. Having an hour lesson with a PGA Pro when you first begin the game is near on, for me, pointless, only because there's so much you need to learn all at once. You're not going to learn it in that one sitting. So you're going to need 6 to 8 times with someone that knows what they're doing just to get the general basics. So group coaching is a great way. There's tons of getting to golf programs around the country, and you could easily go to these group coaching sessions and not spend more than £50 for those 8 sessions. It's going to give you a great introduction on grip, stance, swing, meeting other people, similar ability, getting a feel for it, everything else. So now we're £100 down. You've been probably playing for a couple of months now, and obviously you want to get better and better. This is probably when I advise, or I personally would start having individual lessons. Not only individual lessons on the golf course, on the range even, but on the golf course as well. Just to get a feel, because that's where we play golf. We don't play golf on the range, we play golf on the golf course, and playing off grass as well. Incredibly important to everyone's game. So realistically, for me, I'd be spending £100 to £150 on private lessons, which is probably going to give you another 4 to 5 lessons, hour lessons that is, out on the golf course or at the driving range. That's when you can start building your swing, let's say. When you start getting or implementing in safe shots, where your bad shot is, how you stop your bad shot, and then also doubling down on the short game, putting and chipping, which is obviously really important. Now, you're probably about 5 to 6 months in the course of the year, and I think I've spent about £250 now in terms of my overall budget. So for the rest of the year, I'd want you to go and enjoy the game. I want you to go to the range and hit golf balls. I want you to go play different golf courses around the area that you might have never played before, as well as obviously going to these group coaching sessions again. Because it's just going back and ticking off, am I doing what they're saying? Have I learned what they told me?
did I do this, or do I need to still work on it? Because just like everyone, our perception of our swing is completely different to reality. You might think your swing's coming in to out, but in reality it's just not. And that's why it's always nice to dip back into those sessions to obviously get a bit of confidence, but also get a bit of a check of where your swing actually is, as well as obviously practicing here and there, and obviously hitting balls off grass if possible. I think that's pretty much how I spend anyway the £500 throughout the course of the year. I hope that all made sense anyway, guys. And Matt, thank you ever so much for having me in your video. Hopefully see you soon, pal.
2 PGA professionals, a very good golfer. So some great advice from those guys, and I think we should be falling in line. And even if you've not got £500 to spend, it might be that you've only got 50, it might be that you've got 100. Even if you just take a little bit out of those, and you know, it might be that you cherry pick the, oh, I'm going to go and get some practice balls, some alignment canes, whatever it may be, or I'm going to spend that £40 on a lesson, and then in the future I'm going to spend £200 on my driver. As long as you're following that sort of protocol, like we say, very similar themes from all of them, I would imagine that we're spending the money wisely and investing correctly in our golf games instead of actually just wasting the money. Okay, so guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video there. Some great information from the guys. Remember, do hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos, hopefully to keep you entertained and help you improve your golf game whilst we're still on lockdown here in the UK. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.